What is up, everybody? We are back today at the Saucy Takes podcast. Here, joined by a few guests. Obviously, Swift is here, and then I'm gonna hand it over to him so he can take the rest of the intro.
Yeah, so many people might be wondering why there's a guest, a third person here. And that is because your boy went 0 and 5. I lost every single league this week. And let me tell you, I don't feel I deserve to be here. So, Hunter, you could take it away.
I
Yeah.
mean, shit, I might as well join you. I went 0 and 3. It's been a terrible. It was a rough stretch there. I mean,
Go
if
ahead
I
and go
had,
ahead and introduce yourself first.
well, I'm Hunter, aka Schledank, aka Dak to the future, aka 0 and 2. Um, you know, I've been in the Eye for Quality League for 5, 6 years, pretty long time. I've known Swift for just as long. Lewis, or Saucy, more recent, uh, more recently been acquainted. But yeah, think I've made the playoffs every year I've been in it, and every league I've ever been in. Been to the championship like 4 times. Never won it. It is a travesty. I've put together some really solid teams in the past, but it doesn't seem like this year's going to be any different. I mean, wow. It has been a horrific showing by my wide receivers, as we will get into. But yeah, excited to be here.
It's always nice to have, a knowledgeable guest like you, somebody who has experiences. We teach people here the different way. We teach you what not to do. Don't listen to us. We
Yeah,
have a
that's
combined
for
0
sure.
and 8. And I mean, I'm gonna flex here. I had only one win in all my leagues.
Oh wow. Okay,
So
there you go.
I got a breadstick up there, but y'all got a pair of donuts. So we're looking good this week.
A pair. I almost have half a dozen, bro.
Literally.
Jesus. So yeah, but we're just gonna get into. I mean, obviously, right here you guys can see for the people who can't. It's just the league that we're in. There wasn't really any close games. I think everybody got fucking whooped pretty bad. Whoever got whooped got deceased this week. They got absolutely killed. And I mean, if you guys have anything to add on to that for this week in terms of scoring, it was just a bad week for at least for all of us. We all lost in this league, by the way.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
And there would
week 2 is the week of inconsistency because every player that went off in week 1 did not go off in week 2.
yeah,
So this is
Well,
just
Cooper Cup.
oh yeah.
Stephon Diggs, but
Stephon
but
Diggs.
Yeah.
anomalies for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, but this just goes to show that don't take early victory laps because you will get humbled.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Went from putting up the most points week 1 to getting absolutely shredded week 2. I gotta stay humble out here, guys. And with that, we're gonna go into the Hunter, tell us about the trade you did this week because you actually you the star of the
Yeah.
trade this week.
So I made the mistake of not drafting any wide receivers. I drafted Michael Pittman in what, the fourth round? Yeah, I got him in the fourth round.
Great pick.
Um, Quality pick. Love him. I wanted to get him in all my leagues. Was only able to get him in this one. Um, and then I think I went on a stretch where I picked 6 straight wide receivers through like rounds 6 through 12, and all of them have been horrific. I got Juju, Allen Lazard, Amari Cooper, Hunter Renfro, Devontae Parker. I was hoping that a couple of them would hit. Obviously none of them did. Amari Cooper had a good week too, but he was on my bench as per usual. Um, that worked out well for me. So I decided that I needed to make a move to acquire a top tier wide receiver to start alongside Michael Pittman. I figured that if I had 2 top tier wide receivers, I could scrape by with having a third one, either Juju or Amari or whoever else I had on my bench, maybe like a rotation, maybe one of them starts popping off and it gets a little bit of consistency. Um, so I traded my first round pick, fifth overall pick, Christian McCaffrey, for A.J. Brown, Damian Harris, and David Montgomery. There's a lot of value there.
Yeah.
I got a lot of players back. Obviously the star of that trade being A.J. Brown, who, of course, has right on schedule, put up a nice 10 points after his 35-point bomb he had week 1. Yeah, but I mean, after watching the week 1 performances, Damian Harris played great. David Montgomery played great. Christian McCaffrey did not play that great. I think he did have 120 yards from scrimmage. That's expected from CMC, but
Yep.
no touchdowns. Baker Mayfield at quarterback.
It's rough out there for
That
him.
is a recipe for disaster. So I think I like the direction I'm heading in, but I think I did give someone else the best team in fantasy football.
Full disclosure, I think both of you guys won this trade. I think
Yeah, I
'cause now
think we did.
he has C-Mac, Burrow, Chase, and Jonathan Taylor. Like
And
I
Amon Ra.
and yeah, I know, yeah. He raw dogged me this week, bro. It's
Yeah.
rough out there for your boy. But obviously, you get AJ Brown, obviously, borderline fringe wide receiver 1 in fantasy. You get Damian Harris, who I mean, I'm pretty sure you're pretty proud of. Like he seemed to take a little bit of the reins out there this week at least.
Yeah, I think
And
him
he
getting
might,
the goal line work. I think he did get some goal line touches there. He did punch in that touchdown. It looked great. Having a split backfield is not the best. Ramondre.
yeah, per usual. And
Yeah.
if I actually, as a matter of fact, I might turn my camera off here because we're gonna jump straight into the games. As everybody knows, I'm a Ravens fan, diehard Ravens fan. Been a Ravens fan since 2008. So all you motherfuckers who say, you're only a fan during the Super. No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. And this by far was the most demoralizing game. A quick little story. I was driving down from Hudson, which is north of Tampa, about an hour. Stopped in Fort Myers because I was like, I am not missing this fucking Ravens game against the Dolphins. So me and my girl, we went to Twin Peaks, and oh my God, bro. I was lit as fuck the first half, 28-7. I'm talking shit. There's old people there. Yo, you're not a decent guy. I'm like, shut the fuck up, 28-7, bitch. And by the end of it, bro, I had to sprint out of there, man. Oh man, it was rough for your boy. It was a rough. The 2.5 hour drive back to Miami, silent. I didn't fucking talk. I didn't want anybody to talk. Phone on do not disturb. I started getting calls, emails, typewriter messages, Facebook. I don't even use Facebook. Facebook DMs. People was hitting me up on MySpace. I never had one. Like they were just finding any way to mock me. It's me versus everybody. I'm in the middle of Miami as the only Ravens fan I know. So it was rough out here for your boy.
Yeah. I sent a carrier pigeon. It'll be sometime. It'll be there sometime soon.
And the other side of the story is obviously go ahead.
Well, he's talking about diehard Ravens fan, 2008, all these big words, all these big numbers. Listen, I'm a simple man, right? Born in Miami, lived in Miami. I'm a Dolphins fan. Whole life, through the ups, which there have been none in my entire life,
This is the
through the
highest of the
downs,
peaks.
which has been most of my life. But today, I stand here, a humble man, a humble man. And I really don't think that I'm exaggerating when I say that Tua Tagovailoa is the greatest quarterback that's ever lived. I mean, what was it, 469, 6 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill, 11 receptions, 190 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle, 11 receptions, 171 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, we are the team to beat. And I wholeheartedly believe that we are going to go home this week. We're going to play the Buffalo Bills. I will be at that game, and we will drop 100 points on them. Tua will drop 10 touchdowns. He will be out of the game by the end of the second quarter. He won't even come back out the tunnel for halftime. We will have the practice squad out there playing the Buffalo Bills. We will dominate. And yeah, I think it's going to be a great game. I think my prediction for that game is going to be Dolphins by 65. Yeah, I mean, it sucks to be a Ravens fan, I guess. Can't relate. 2-0, Tua and O. Tua got that dog in him. Swift, I know you got the graphic. Pull it up. There it is. I got
Oh
another one
man.
for you. Ravens secondary. Pull it up. There it is.
Oh
Yeah.
man, why you gotta do us like that, man?
I mean, what are you gonna do? Tua is the GOAT. He is the
Yeah.
greatest player that's ever played. Dan Marino, who? Who?
Nah. I don't even know the man, bro. I don't even
I
know
don't
the
even
man.
know. Yeah, Dolphins gonna be the second team to ever go undefeated and win the Super Bowl. Of course, the first team being the Dolphins. But
Second time.
Yeah,
yeah, you gotta do it twice.
You heard it here. 19. I think now what is it? 20-0, 19-0. Figure it out.
17, you get a first round bye. 1, 2, yeah, 20-0,
20-0. First team to
something
go
like that.
20-0.
Yeah.
yeah. I will say that this was 100% the game of the week, and I don't know if another game will surpass
That's
this
a
for the
that's
rest of the season.
subjective. That's very subjective. For
No,
me, it was
I don't
not the
think
game
it
of the
is.
week,
What?
but it was
All
not,
right.
man. It was
Well, when we
not.
get to your game, I really want you to talk about it because
Oh no, no. Hey, chill, chill, chill. We'll get there. I mean, in full honesty though, like for fantasy purposes, Tua was him this week. I'm not gonna lie.
Timothy.
Lamar, yeah, Lamar is also Himothy. I don't want to, but just I thought it was what happened to the Chase Edmonds take there, Swift. He
yeah.
looked like Plan B. Like he looked like some shit you get from CVS after
Yeah, so
Plan B.
for like I hope nobody listens to my saucy takes because if you do, just do the opposite of what I say. I had
Yes,
Chase
sir.
Edmonds being top 15. He wasn't even top 30. I had Gabe Davis outscoring Stephon Diggs. He didn't even play. So this is yeah, just don't do what I say. Just do the opposite.
Sir, yes,
Yeah.
sir. Will
I,
do.
I, I'm not gonna lie though, man. As a Ravens fan, please, J.K. Dobbins. I doubt you're listening to this podcast, but if you are, bro, I beg you to come back. I am tired of all these fucking shitbirds at running back. We have a goddamn retirement home at the RB position. Might as well trot out my grandpa out there. Like, I don't. It doesn't, bro. It doesn't make it. These. Next game, man. I'm done with this game. Bateman was good. Andrews was good. You know who's good. They were good. I'm fucking done talking about
Mark
this
Andrews,
goddamn
RB1.
game. And then this is actually my upset of the week. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, is one of the few I hit. The Jets upsetting the Browns. I talked about last week Garrett Wilson, man. I love Garrett Wilson. I think he's elite. But honestly, just a crazy game. The Browns are. There's a saying because one of my friends is a Browns fan, and I always tell him the Browns are gonna Brown. They're just gonna shut it up. They're gonna find a way, no matter how good the team is, no matter how good they play. At the end of the game, they got that. I don't know. If we had the graphic for the little dog, yeah, he'd be coming back up here. But it is what it is. Any takeaways from both of you guys? This game in general.
Hunter, talk to me about Garrett Wilson.
Oof.
Well, there's a lot of wide receivers in this class. I mean, Treylon Burks, Jameson Williams, Drake London, a couple more I'm
Dotson.
probably missing. Yeah, Dotson.
Yeah.
Dotson looks great. I mean, he looks like the red zone threat. Honestly, I think he's second in the NFL or third in the NFL for touchdowns right now. It's kind of crazy. But I mean, far and away from what I've seen so far, Garrett Wilson does look like the offensive rookie of the year. I mean, what is that? 8 receptions, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns. Was that
14 targets.
14 targets? I mean, a little bit before the podcast, I was talking to Saucy here, and I think a lot of people are putting a lot of value on Garrett Wilson here, saying that when Zach Wilson comes back, Garrett's value only goes up. I think that the opposite is true. I love Garrett Wilson. I have him in a league, but I think Joe Flacco. I mean, how many times did he throw the ball this game? Is that 44?
44.
Through 60 times in week one. He's got 104 pass attempts through the first 2 weeks. That is not sustainable. 14
Leads the
targets is,
NFL.
yeah, 14 targets is not sustainable. However, I do think that he's kind of, taking the reins over there on that offense, putting the league on notice, putting Elijah Moore on notice. I know he was high on a lot of draft boards. I personally was just like not the biggest fan. I wasn't really the biggest fan of Zach Wilson throwing the ball to anybody. Um, the only players I really thought I would touch on that team were Brees Hall. If I could get him in a decent round, I think I got him in the 7th or 8th round in the Eye for Quality League, which I thought was a steal. And I also got Michael Carter, so I do got whichever one does end up being the starter. But I mean, am I glad that I picked up Garrett Wilson in like the 12th, 13th round? Yes, of course I
Yes,
am. He
absolutely.
is killing it, and I guess if we know how it is with rookie wide receivers on bad teams. You're going to get 1 week where they pop off, and then you get the next week where they have like 2 targets for 10 yards, one reception for 10 yards. That's just how it goes. It's hard to find any consistency, especially when they play on a team like the Jets. But I mean, you can't take away from them that win. I think there was a 99.7% chance for the Browns to win with a minute 55 left. All Nick Chubb has to do is fall down at the 1 yard line and they win that game. But they found a way and they made it,
The Browns gonna brown, bro. Just
Brown's
yeah,
gonna Brown.
it is what it is. Honestly, Garrett Wilson cooked everybody that game.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Jumping into the next game, we talked about Flacco leading the league in attempts. He's third in yards, and then we talked about Tua. He's first in yards, and then I think Carson is second. So we're going to the Commanders game here first. The Lions. Talk about Himothy. Amon-Ra St. Brown is Himothy. Honestly, I didn't even think he was going to be this. Like I was trying to target him in drafts, but bro, he looks different. Like just in general, he moves different. He's better than everybody on the field. Every time he's on the field, it feels like he's and Jared Goff just has like tunnel vision for him, which is what you want. DeAndre Swift, man, he's looking good out there. How do you feel about Swift, man? He's got your name. Yeah, then
Yeah,
it is
yeah. I
what it
mean,
is.
he only had 10 touches this game, I believe, or 10 opportunities, but he made the most of them. As long as he comes back healthy, I think he's a top 5 back
Yep.
next week in week 3. So I'm not concerned. I just wish he would have maybe gotten 61 yards because that's what I had him in the prize picks. But it's okay. It'd be like that sometimes. I shouldn't have picked him in the first place with an ankle injury, but you
The
know how.
injuries are too much,
Yeah,
man.
you know how it is. But yeah, Amon-Ra, his value in drafts, like if you were able to snag him, like and you waited on receiver, like you're chilling, you're big chilling.
You're golden right now.
I think I
And on the
picked Juju in the same round he went. I think I picked Juju before.
yeah, that's so tough. I apologize on my behalf for your fuck up right there. I'm not gonna lie. I
Yeah.
mean, I fucked up too. I didn't
Yeah,
draft
to
him.
be fair, everybody else did the same.
Everybody
He
else
was the
did,
last pick of the 10th round, or
Yeah,
the 9th round.
except for
yeah,
Eli. He took him.
Well, so
and-
everybody
And
passed on him.
on the flip side, talk about a guy nobody took in drafts that felt like Curtis Samuel out there looking like wide receiver 1, man. Incredible. This guy was supposed to be it last year. Ended up spending the whole year hurt. Comes back and reminds people that he still got it, man. Terry not looking so scary. Terry's looking like a scary start. That's more like what Terry's looking like. I don't know. It feels like um Wentz is actually very startable because he has so many weapons, but at the same time, like you don't know who it is going to be every week. Dotson's been good, but he's got 3 touchdowns, like you said, in 2 weeks. I don't know if
yeah,
I'd be trusting that per se. And Gibson, after a crazy week 1, got back down to his regular usage. JD McKissick caught 7 passes, back to being Antonio Gibson of old, just inconsistent.
nope,
And I went out there now. Yeah, y'all remember I was gonna go up to Tampa. I was gonna suit up for Tom Brady. They didn't let me in. Might as well have, because golly, this game was a snooze fest. Jameis was out there playing on what, like 4 fractured bones in his back. First of all, what are you doing? It's week 2. Let the guy rest. No Kamara. I guess the only takeaway is Olave looks good. Like he got actually the most air yards. I think over the past couple of years, he had 365 air yards, which is 44 more than any receiver over the past 5 years, which was Hollywood Brown on the Ravens 2 years ago. And he got 13 targets, man, like crazy. I think the only takeaway from this game is Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore still don't like each other. Um, but I'm not gonna lie, if I was Tom Brady, I'd be happy I had Mike Evans on my team. He got my back all the time, man.
No, it's too bad he won't be there next week because he's suspended.
Well,
Yeah, man.
they're appealing the suspension, and it might go through. It wasn't
I
a
hope
crazy fight. He did just kind of push him, but there is beef there.
Well, I hope it doesn't go through just because, my Brady take at the beginning of the year. It's
I
all
got Mike
it's all
Evans, man.
coming to fruition. Brady's just not
He
not
doesn't look
produ-
good.
he's not producing like he used to. And I love it. I love it.
Your take's looking good. My Jameis take's looking bad out there. He threw
You know,
3
yeah.
picks to the
I
other team.
I mean, I don't really blame Jameis. I actually blame the coaching for not playing one of the all-stars of the league, Taysom Hill, but I'm not a coach in the NFL. They know more than me, so I'm
Should
not.
be.
I know.
We're just a couple guys with some takes, man.
Yeah. Our next game is
Jumping on.
oh
Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. Our
The
next game,
snooze fest.
yeah, is the Panthers losing 16-19 against the Giants. Baker doing Baker things, not really much. CMC over 100 yards of scrimmage, no tutties like Hunter spoke about earlier. Saquon came down to earth, 72 yards. I think his over was
I think
70.
74 and a half.
It was 74.
75, something like
Yeah,
that.
Something
of
like
course.
that.
So, 3 yards short, he knew that I had
Typical.
it. So he's like, let me just chill in the end of the game. But Sterling Shepard, I guess, is the player to talk about here. 10 targets.
Man, fuck Sterling Shepard, man. I'm tired of talking. He's so bad. Every year it's, Sterling Shepard has 10 targets. How does he finish with 34 receiving yards on 10 targets? Like,
6
and
receptions. I mean, 5.7 yards
bro,
per
they
reception
they
is
pass this guy. He's
crazy.
basically a running back. He doesn't go anywhere with his targets. He has empty targets. None of these receivers outside of Reece James have any value. And I hate saying that because I think Tony is so. What did Tony do to Brian Dable? He hates this man. I'm out here sending Joseph TikToks of what Tony used to be at UF. I'm salivating at 2 a.m. watching Kadarius Tony highlights, and this man goes out there and gets 3 targets. Like he's their best playmaker outside of Saquon. Get this man, but instead they're feeding 36-year-old Sterling Shepard and Baker, per usual, fucking up everybody on the team in fantasy. Baker's like, if I'm on the team and I'm doing bad, everybody's doing bad. DJ Moore is practically irrelevant outside of a touchdown. Robbie went back to earth. They don't have another receiver outside of those 2 guys. The Panthers are just bad. They're fucking terrible. 5-12 season loading. I'm being generous.
That is really generous. Really. I mean, looking like a
I
3-game season, honestly. Number 1 overall pick loading.
Hunter,
It's crazy.
take the next
Oh,
game after
yeah, go
after
ahead.
Lewis. Go ahead, say what you're gonna say, Lewis.
Oh yeah, man. I actually have I had a wager with a Panthers fan. I have a friend who's a Panthers fan. He said prior to the season they were gonna go 10-7. And I was like, all right, what do you think the Ravens are gonna go? He's like 10-7. I'm like, you think we're the same like caliber team? Like what?
Well, you might
What are
be.
you? No, Mike, I'm dropping the mic.
Don't you have the same record as them? You guys are both 1-1, right?
They're 0-2, man. They
Oh,
lost to
they're
the
0-2?
Browns
Oh, yeah, they
and
did
the
lose to the Browns.
Giants.
You're right. No.
Come on, bro. They are bad.
Tough.
They're bad out
Tough,
there.
tough, 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 tough. What are you going to do?
Talking about bad.
Talking
Honestly,
about
this
bad,
this game
yeah,
was bad.
this is the matchup of 2 of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL, Mac Jones and Mitch Trubisky. There is a lot of fantasy value on both of these teams, actually. Uh, you know, Damian Harris, Ramondre Stevenson, Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, George Pickens. A lot of people pick later in the rounds. Pat Fryermuth, top 10 tight
Muth is
end
Muth.
in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, Patriots are going to Patriots, Steelers are going to Steelers. Snooze fest. It was extremely boring. I think the big takeaway here is Nelson Aguilar. What is that? 6 receptions, 110 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, that touchdown was crazy.
Yeah, no, he mossed him. He really put it on his head. probably a top waiver wire ad this week. Him along with Jacoby Myers, and I think a top waiver wire drop is going to be Devontae Parker. He is off my team. He will never see my team again.
Yeah, he should never be on anybody's team anymore.
I did get him in the 16th round. I thought it might have been a steal. Obviously, did not work that way. But yeah, I mean, Damian Harris did look like the number one guy there. He looked great, in my opinion. He just looked like the guy you hand the ball to and you just let him work. Power back. He's not going to bust for that 40-yard run, that 50-yard touchdown, that 50-yard reception. He's just going to grind and grind and grind, and sometimes that's what you need. But yeah, we did get a stinker from Najee Harris, and I just think it's hard for anybody to succeed on that team with Mitch Trubisky at quarterback.
Running back looks bad this year, man. Najee, Derrick Henry, just these running backs look bad this year.
Yeah,
and
RB1 on the year is Nick Chubb, I think.
I do want to say, man, those receivers, somebody got to get those people the ball. Like, as a Ravens fan, I don't like the Steelers, but they have crazy weapons. Mitch is not getting it done. Like, just throw Pickett in there. Like, fuck it at this point. Like, you're what? Like, he can't get the ball to anybody. Pickens is really good. Deontay, Claypool, Freiermuth, Najee, and no points. Talking about no points. My God, I want to talk about shitty Matt Ryan.
Masterclass from Matt Ryan here.
Yeah, just he talk about a performance and donuts. He got carried away here. How do you put up 0 points against the Jaguars? I don't care. Michael Pittman's not playing, bro. Like you something. Like not even by mistake. Like they didn't even score by mistake. And they got down to the goal line a couple times too.
Best running back in the NFL, and I mean, I think if you just leave him on the field as the only offensive player, like literally 1 versus 11, there might be more points scored than the Colts scored this week. Jonathan Taylor, I mean, 9 carries. What is that? I mean, Jonathan Taylor should be getting 20 to 25 touches a game.
Averaging 6 yards a carry too. Like, if he's averaging 6, the math does not add up. Like,
that's how I feel with what's it called, Javonte Williams.
Yep.
I mean, I think he's averaging 6 yards a carry on the season, and they do not want to hand him the ball. I mean, he wants to work, he wants to go. Melvin Gordon said that he wants him to take the spotlight, and Nathaniel Hackett is, I don't know.
He's not hacking it right now, man.
He's not hacking it. That is for sure.
This goes to show you, though, that if Pittman or Taylor do not play, any one of the two, just stay away. This is gonna happen. This is what's gonna happen because no one can produce like those two players can, and they're the heart and soul of this team. And then on the other side, Christian Kirk, wide receiver 1.
Yeah, he looks great. He looks great. You know who looks great too? I know his 2.8 average is crazy, but like this man just tore his Achilles like 8 months ago. How is do these people not care for this man? How do you give this man 23 carries?
Hunter's actually the James Robinson owner, at least in the past. Talk to us about him and why. Like, is he going to do this for the rest of the season?
No. Listen, I'm a James Robinson believer, James Robinson lover.
Yes, sir.
His rookie season, I got him on waiver wires. He carried me to the championship.
Same.
I mean, I think he ended up finishing as like the RB7,
6, 7, yep.
His rookie year. I mean, that is a masterclass, but a torn Achilles, 23 touches. I think that the Jacksonville Jaguars are trying to murder a man. I think Travis Etienne takes over the starting job, and I think that now the Jags are the team to beat in the AFC South.
Okay,
that's not a bad take. I'm honestly, Sunshine looks like he was supposed to look like. Urban Meyer was holding him back. So
yeah, 100%. And then the next game we're talking about is the Falcons losing by 4 to the Rams. The Rams actually almost choked this game, which is actually kind of crazy. Imagine losing to Mariota. Drake London, 12 targets, 8 catches for 86 and a tutty. Kyle Pitts, Lewis. I know you're a Pitts believer. Talk to me about him.
Man, honestly, Shit, I don't really have much to say outside of like get him the fucking ball. Like, how does he have 3 targets? The OC actually came out after the game and said, "We're gonna take a look at it." Like, bro, I'm sorry. When an OC says shit like that, like they shouldn't be an OC. Like, there's certain like, what do you mean take a look at it? Like he's like you saw him play for 60 minutes. Like you could not adjust and get this man the ball. Hey man, Drake London. First of all, Drake London is great. Like he looks good. Like 12 targets, 6 catches. Like he was doing this thing the entire game. But like you got to get like there's no shot Pitts should have as many targets as fucking Kadero Hodge. That's all I got to say about Kyle
For
Pitts, man.
sure.
Like get him the ball.
I think it's not on Kyle Pitts.
Yep.
I think it's on the coaching, and I don't think that it's a terrible strategy. And I will explain a little bit. Kyle Pitts is the ultimate distraction. You can't put a linebacker on Kyle Pitts. I don't think you can even put a safety on him. You have to put a corner on him, and that just allows the other players to eat. You know, his targets are so low, but look at everybody else. I mean, Drake London is only able to do that because Kyle Pitts is on the field. If Kyle Pitts is not on the field, Drake London is putting up the Kyle Pitts stat line. He's the ultimate distraction. I think teams are super scared of him, and that's why his stat line looks like that, because they probably have their number one corner locking up Kyle Pitts week in, week out. Obviously, Jalen Ramsey is that guy. I know he got burned by Stephon Diggs, but come on, we're not going to sit here and say that Jalen Ramsey is
Everybody
not
gets
a
burned.
top 3, top 5 corner in the NFL, if not the best. I would say Xavier Howard. I'm biased, obviously,
Hey,
but I mean,
put him in a blender, man. I don't know about
it's
that.
not a terrible strategy to just throw Kyle Pitts out there and just soak up defenders. You can't not guard him. He is going to eat. Obviously, it's a terrible situation when you have Marcus Mariota as quarterback. If I'm them, I'm starting Desmond Ridder. I mean, he looked great in the preseason. Quarterback out of Cincinnati. Uh, I thought he looked great. I mean, what do you have to lose? This team is not expected to win anything. Let the young guys eat.
I agree, wholeheartedly agree with that, man. Like just see what you have. See what you have. It is early in the season, so maybe they're trying to win as much because they didn't look bad week 1, and honestly, they didn't really look bad this game either. Only lost by 4.
Well, the
Um,
scoreboard does not tell a
yeah,
whole
the
story.
scoreboard isn't telling. They scored like 2 touchdowns. It was like what, like 31-10 or something. But
It was like 31-14, something like that. It was a
yeah,
blowout.
Yeah.
but I'm curious, man. Patterson, Algier both having the same amount of carries. Patterson not getting any passing work is pretty concerning to me. If you're a
Yeah,
seat pat owner, like
I'm a
I would
CPAT
have,
owner.
yeah, I would have thought, he at least have a couple targets in there. But that's the thing with running quarterbacks. And then on the other side, obviously, your take again, Cooper Cup, man.
Hey,
I told you,
I just
man,
want to
don't
say,
bet against that, man.
that he actually had one tutty. A-Rob was supposed to have 2, but I don't know if you guys saw it. They called after the play was over, after A-Rob scored. We get a call from the top box, and they're like, "Oh wait, there's a concussion on the field. I think I saw
Oof.
something." So redo the play. Cooper Kupp gets a touchdown. I think without that touchdown, he doesn't break top 10. I could be wrong. I mean, 10 catches for over 100 yards and a tutty probably brings him in the top 10. But hey, man, I was a little close. All right.
Just to make you feel better, man. It's a saucy take, man. They're not
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
they're gonna miss.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
who's not missing, bro? Tyler Higbee. Higbee looks good, man. 11 targets last week, 9 this week, 7 for 71.
Yeah,
Are you
he's looking
picking
like
him
a
up?
draft
Are you
steal.
are you starting him? Like, are you starting him over Kyle Pitts? This is an honest conversation.
No,
No.
He had to think about it. He had to think
it's
about
hard.
it.
It's hard. I mean, Kyle Pitts. It's like
I think
you
Kyle
never
Pitts
want to
is.
bench a guy
Yeah.
that you draft in the top 5 rounds. Like, who wants to do that? Nobody.
I also think he's like he's gonna explode any week now because he hasn't done anything. He's just
Buy low.
he's due. He's due. He's due. Yeah, he's definitely a buy low candidate.
It's
I
definitely Tuesday,
I think I
and
might go
he's due.
back. I might go back to I did offer a week ago, I offered Mark Andrews for Kyle Pitts and Christian Kirk. And with Kyle Pitts' value as the lowest it will probably ever be, I will send that trade offer again. See if I get it. Here we go. We got the Seahawks and the 49ers. I mean, biggest news from this game is obviously Trey Lance, horrific injury. I think he compound fracture on his ankle, had to be carted off the field. Prayers to him. But, Jimmy G came in there and he righted the ship. The 49ers, I think, might be the only team in the NFL that you do not need a good quarterback and they will still win games.
Yep.
That team is built to succeed without a quarterback that can sling the ball 90 yards down the field. They are built to, manage games and win on defense and, wear the other team out. Jimmy G, 154 yards, a touchdown, 7.3, average yards per play. It looks good for them. I mean, 45 rushing attempts by the San Francisco is crazy. I mean, I don't think that we see that again. I think we only see that because they are playing the
It's the
Seahawks
Seahawks.
at home
Ooh.
in bad weather. It was very windy there. But I mean, I think another talking point here is Jeff Wilson.
Yeah, man.
What is his name? Tyrion Davis Price came in there and 14 carries. I mean, we have a person in our league who did spend all of his fab on Jeff Wilson, and Jeff Wilson looked great. I mean, 4.7 yards per carry, 18 touches, but I mean, you do have to be a little bit worried with the backup getting that many touches. It is a little bit worrying.
I believe he did actually tweak his ankle, so he's apparently going to be out for like 2 weeks.
Who, Jeff or Davis
Tyrion,
Price?
Tyrion, yeah,
Tyrion.
yeah.
Oh.
So Jeff Wilson stock
Stock up.
yeah. So originally
But
it was a worry because of his touches, but now that he's hurt, it's definitely Jeff Wilson, and yeah, that's it.
There you go.
I don't understand why the 49ers keep doing this. They just draft running backs like super high in the draft, like third round, and then they're like, you know what? We don't really want to use them. They did it with Sermon last year. Sermon Price wasn't even like he wouldn't be playing if it wasn't for the Elijah Mitchell injury. I think their running back one is Debo Samuel. He's also like their wide receiver one. So
yeah.
if you got Debo and Jimmy G's coming out there, like you definitely feel a little bit more confident because it's less running work that's going to get vultured by Trey Lance. Obviously, I wish the best for Trey Lance. I did read he had a successful surgery, so that's always good to hear. But also, if you got George Kittle, man, I think you're pretty happy. Jimmy G's playing. You know who's not happy? The Panthers. They should have traded for Jimmy G and not Baker because honestly, he's better than Baker.
Yeah.
And if you have
Well,
anybody on the Seahawks, don't start him. Just don't. Like, they're bad.
DK Metcalf believers unite.
On to the next game. I'm so happy this happened, personally. The Bungles, 0-2. I love to see it. Shout out Cooper Rush, man. Getting the job done. Noah Brown coming out of nowhere. CD getting his 11 targets. Dalton Schultz did get hurt on this game. Apparently, it's like a PC, but they don't even know. Like, as of now, we don't know if it's going to be weekly or if it's just going to be like he's limited for. Have you guys heard any news on Dalton?
No.
No, I am not a Dalton Schultz owner, which means I will not be checking on him.
Nope.
I read it because you be reading things sometimes. On the other side though, Zeke and Pollard both they don't look bad. I'm not gonna lie. Like the offense didn't look horrible. They weren't obviously like Zeke isn't his fantasy stats aren't that good, but like he's getting work. It's just kind of empty work, and Tony Pollard is as explosive as ever. And then for the Bengals, what's going on out there, man? What's going on out there?
Well, Hunter's the Mixon owner. Talk to us.
Joe Shiesty. I mean,
moving Shiesty right now.
I think that the Bengals are the most disappointing team in the NFL. If I had to put a top three, it'd probably be Bengals, Raiders, Colts in that order.
Denver?
Top five. They did
Okay,
get a
okay.
win.
You're right. Absolutely right.
Like they're top
Texans.
five. I think that I think that the Broncos will work it out, but I mean we'll go to that when we get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean Joe Mixon, he looks good. Like Joe Mixon looks like the guy. It's Dallas's defense. I mean they have superstars: Michael Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, Demarcus Lawrence. I mean like they are a great defense, and I think that that showed with how they limited Joe Mixon, how they limited Jamar Chase. T. Higgins did play a great game. 10 targets. He out targeted Jamar Chase.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know what's going on over there. It's actually I do. It's the offensive line.
Yep.
Uh, as my dad always tells me, fat guys, fat guys, fat guys, fat guys. You need the fat guys. You need to put them. If you focus that, your team will figure itself out. And I thought that that's what the Bengals did. It's not looking like it though.
Yeah, and speaking of limited, Mr. Unlimited is no longer.
Yeah.
He has been a bust in the first 2 weeks. I know it's only 2 weeks, but they were booing this whole team at home.
As they should be.
And
Deservedly, yes.
I think one of the biggest reasons to boo is not actually Russell Wilson. Although he hasn't been playing well, I think it's the fact that they're not giving Javonte the ball enough.
Preaching to the choir.
He averaged 5 yards a carry in this game, but like Hunter said earlier, we think he's averaging 6 on the season. He had 11 targets in week 1, and he only had 4 this week. So obviously it wasn't sustainable, but Javonte needs to get the ball at least 20 times a game, and he only got it 16 times this game. So
It's crazy, honestly. Like they should be doing. Honestly, they should be doing what the Browns do with like Chubb and Hunt. Like just let them eat. Like Russell, I mean, especially with Judy being hurt, bro. Like you gotta just feed the man, bro. Just feed the man. Sutton had a great game and stuff, but Javante is if you have Javante, you feel great because don't trade him. Do not trade Javante Williams because this coaching, I don't think there's a coach like they have to know this is like the guy on offense right now to carry them through this Russell Wilson, whatever you want to call it, that they're going through.
Yeah, I mean, I think a perfect game strategy is Russell Wilson throws the ball 6, 7, 8 yards down the field to Cortland Sutton. I mean, Cortland Sutton was at 17.4 yards per reception. That is great. That is what you want out of your star wide receiver. I think Cortland Sutton's a great wide receiver. Did get a touchdown called back, but he still had a great performance. And so I think that a great strategy is, hey, we can just throw the ball to Cortland Sutton. We can throw the ball to Javonte Williams out of the backfield. Russ does not need to sling that thing down the field. They can make their game on short yardage gains, and then you can just hand the ball off in the red zone. That's the bulk of this team's struggles, is the red zone offense. I don't think that they have scored a touchdown in the red zone this season. I think it's been 8 or 7 trips to the red zone, not a single touchdown. That is horrific. I think it does come down to coaching. You have the pieces on that team to score in the red zone, make it happen. Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Judy. You have the pieces. You gotta get it. You gotta get the ball in the end zone. That's how you win games.
yeah,
Absolutely. And on the flip side, bro, Houston shocked me. Burkhead got no carries. The Damian Pierce season is among us, folks. I think he had 15 carries and I think one target, so 16 total attempts. He looks good. First of all, he looks really good. Like he looks better than Burkhead. Um, just obviously, how good is this offense going to be? His touches might be empty from week to week, but yeah, just it's Davis Mills in Houston. They're not supposed they're
Whoa,
not
whoa!
horrible.
I will
They're
not
not.
tolerate any Davis Mills slander.
You're
Okay,
right, man.
the Mills have eyes.
The Mills have eyes, baby.
Nico Collins, he looks great.
Targets. Yeah, love
He
Nico.
looks great. Brandon Cooks, I think, is going to do what Brandon Cooks does and get 1,000 yards in a season. That's what he does every year. Hard to see it not happening. Um, here we go. We got the Arizona Cardinals and the Las Vegas Raiders. As you heard me say earlier, I do have the Raiders as the second most disappointing team in the NFL so far through 2 weeks. I mean, how do you let this happen? What was it, a 21-point lead that they blew? I mean,
23-7 in the fourth quarter, something
I
like
think I
that.
think it was 20-0 at one point though.
Wow,
Yeah.
even worse. I didn't even remember.
It was an absolute masterclass by Derek Carr throwing the game away. How you only let Devontae Adams get 7 targets. I mean, I think that his 19 targets, 18 targets he had last week is obviously not sustainable. But I mean, he is your guy. You got to sling that ball to him. I think at least 10 to 13 times a game. 7 targets is not great. 2 catches for 12 yards. He did have the touchdown early on in the game, but I mean, come on, like, what is that? I did get burned by him on Prize Picks. Had his over Swift.
That was
What are you gonna
us.
do? But I think that the bigger story here is the Arizona running backs. Benjamin believers stand up. Daryl Williams believers stand up. James Conner haters
Eno.
sit or stand up. Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
But I mean, he did get hurt, but I mean, Benjamin and Daryl Williams both looked great. Great, 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 great. And Kyler Murray did what Kyler Murray does, scramble in the pocket and make plays happen. I mean, yeah, great. It
Sticking
was
with
a
the
great game.
I
great game,
I
but
just want to
sticking with the
say
theme of. Oh yeah, go ahead.
that I was extremely disappointed that the Cardinals won this game because the more they lose, the more of a chance Cliff Kingsbury has
Was
to
just
get
gonna
the
talk
boot.
about that.
But no,
Yep.
they win this game,
Kyler
and
Murray.
and Kyler Murray continues to carry Cliff Kingsbury on his back, and it's man, it's just so sad because Kyler Murray is one of those players that is being held back by his coach, and I can't wait to see him just let loose and do whatever he wants.
Can you imagine the 49ers with Kyler Murray? Or like just like bro, it'd be GG's for like the league. Like this,
I
yeah, I
mean,
agree. I was about to say that. Just in general, man. Like the amount of bailouts Kyler Murray is getting Cliff Kingsbury out of is ridiculous. Just so tough. Hollywood had 11 targets, and shout out Greg Dortch for scoring that tutty. Um, to least to like a less or whatever least enthusiastic and just entertaining game. This game was boring. It's the Bears 10-27 versus the Packers, and it was just a bad. Justin Fields is bad. The Bears are worse,
whoa.
and David Montgomery is the only one out there doing anything. I'm not gonna lie. Him and Herbert look good, but it's bad for them. And just for the Packers, again, it's this is going to be a team ran through Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. I think if you have both of them, you're trying to start both of them because you don't know who it's going to be. This week it was Aaron Jones. Last week it was AJ Dillon, but it's just those receivers, man. Nobody got more than 4 targets, and Sammy Watkins had the most targets. I am fed up with Sammy Watkins. I'm tired of this man being relevant. Shout out to his family. He's doing good, but my God, he is bad. Alan Lazard only had what 2 and 13, and what saved it was a tutty. But like, oh, man, just this team's offense is bad in general. Like they beat the Bears. The Bears beat themselves.
Yeah.
Any takeaways?
I mean, 2. You got David Montgomery, 15 carries, 122 yards,
Mm-hmm.
8.1 average. Beautiful. He looked electric. I mean, I was watching that game. Every time he touched the ball, I mean, like, it was crazy. And then for whatever reason, uh, they decide to try and give Justin Fields on a quarterback sneak on the 1 yard line to get in the end zone when you have Dave Montgomery, who's a physical specimen. I think that you hand the ball off to Dave Montgomery if it's first and goal on the 1, you give it to Dave Montgomery 4 times in a row, and he will get in the end zone. Terrible play call. If you are going to run a quarterback sneak for whatever reason, why are you going to put Justin Fields in the shotgun? Why are you not going to have him up there on the center to push that thing in? They have him in shotgun. It is a terrible, terrible, terrible play call. Dave Montgomery looked great. Khalil Herbert, I think he is a great young player. I do own Dave Montgomery in every league I'm in. I don't know how that ended up happening, but it did. So I will petition for Dave Montgomery to start getting more work. But I think the only other bright spot in this game is obviously Aaron Jones. Absolute beastly performance by him. Aaron Rodgers did not play great, in my opinion. But
And
what are you gonna do?
real quick on Mooney,
Oof.
man, oh man, man, oh man, I don't even want to blame. I don't, because honestly, how much work are you expected to get when your quarterback throws 11 times?
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Cole Kmet too, putting up an like just
One
this
target. Yeah.
yeah, this passing offense is dog water right now. It's free as hell.
I gotta ask you,
It
Lewis.
sucks.
As a Fields owner, because I know you own him. Are you playing him in the Superflex anymore? Like, are you playing a 7 for 11 QB?
So I will say I first of all I misclicked when I drafted him. I was upset, but I was like maybe it was meant to be. I mean, I was like maybe it wasn't meant to be. I had dropped him before the first game, but I picked him back up because I had Jameis and he's playing against Tampa with 4 fractures in his back. I didn't think he was going to make it through the whole game. And honestly, there was no right answer. They both sucked this week, so it was what it was.
Moving on to the Monday Night Football first game of the doubleheader. Titans 7, Bills 41. A complete onslaught by Josh Allen, 317 and 4. Diggs, 148 yards on 12 catches. 3. He has the hat trick. I believe the starters did not play the fourth quarter. Correct, Hunter?
At all. At all.
Yeah, no, I think they came out in the third.
Yeah.
They were not playing in the third quarter. I think it was around like 5 minutes is when they pulled the starters.
Case
Yeah.
Keenum trotted out there.
Yeah.
And not only Case Keenum, but my boy Malik Willis. I know people were saying that
Willis.
he might not get a snap this season. Well, Tanny has not looked good. He has not
Man,
looked good, and I know my boy Malik didn't do crazy, but what do you expect him to do coming out? Now if you start him, Tennessee, I don't know if you're listening, Tennessee, but if you start him, you
he's
might you
not
might
doing shit.
you might get better than 11 for 20 and a 16 QBR. That's all I'm gonna say.
Man,
Uh,
honestly, that entire first of all, this Titans team is they're expired. Like they're like past due milk. Like on the outside it looks so nice, and then you go to pour it and it still looks, oh man, this cereal's about to bust, and then you taste it and it's fucking expired, it's trash, it's old. That's this team. Like they're running the same offense. This is 6 years. Now they don't have AJ Brown. Traylon Burks doesn't look bad, but Mike, like Derrick Henry is
13
it's not gonna work.
touches, 13 carries. No, that is
25 yards. He gets no passing work. I told Joseph I'd rather have Nick Chubb in the third round than Derrick Henry in the first round any day. I actually got some slack from that. Some people were like, "Man, you're tripping. Derrick Henry's trash." I mean, Nick Chubb isn't, better than Derrick Henry. I'm like, just shut. Like, bro, Derrick Henry he got saved by the tutty, but he is not. He's not the same person. I'm sorry. He has no lanes to run. They have no receivers to threaten the field.
Hunter, are you buying low on Henry?
no.
No.
I'm not touching that team with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do think that Derrick Henry having 13 touches is a terrible decision by the coaching staff. Like I said earlier with Jonathan Taylor, 20 to 25 touches a game. I think that these are the top two running backs in the NFL, Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry. I think that they need at least 25 touches a game. I do think that, however, since it was a big blowout, they did pull out Derrick Henry. He did not play the entire game. 1.9 yards per carry is not
Horrible.
great. It's horrible, but I mean, it's the Bills. Uh,
Yep.
Still not better than the Dolphins, but what are you going to do? I think that the NFL is on watch. The AFC East is the best division of football right now, if you ask me.
Possibly.
Right here, we got the last game of the week. Philadelphia Eagles, Minnesota Vikings. Huge fantasy implications. Might be the biggest fantasy game of the week. We got Jalen Hurts, we got Kirk Cousins, we got Dalvin Cook, we got Justin Jefferson, we got Dallas Goedert, we got AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. I mean, star-studded right here. Fantasy. This is a fantasy lover's dream, except if you own Justin Jefferson.
Until it wasn't.
Until it wasn't. I mean, he got the targets, and I really don't think. I mean, Darius Slay played a great game, but I really don't think that it's all on Justin Jefferson. I mean, I watched that game. It's on Kirk. Some of these passes, I think the stat is like Justin Jefferson had like one catch on five, with like 5 targets, one catch against Darius Slay, 2 interceptions. It's not on Justin Jefferson in any way whatsoever. It's all on Kirk. I mean, he looked horrific, terrible. Yeah, I mean, Dalvin Cook, he didn't look great.
I think
Uh,
that O-line sucks, man.
that
That
O-line
O-line's
does
looking
suck.
bad. They were
Yeah,
blitzing. I think Kirk, it was a point he was like 2 for 10 with 2 picks on like blitzed, like when he
yeah,
got blitzed. Like it
yeah,
just they I don't want to say they looked, maybe it wasn't the O-line because they got blitzed a lot, but like they didn't look prepared. That's on the
yeah,
coaching staff, maybe. I hope it gets better because like you said, this was my game of the week, man. I thought these teams were gonna go at it. I thought we were gonna see 40 points to like 33. I thought this was about to be crazy. And I mean, maybe it's Kirk Cousins in prime time. So don't start Kirk Cousins when he plays in prime time. Sunday, 1 o'clock games, 4 o'clock games, strictly. If he's not playing those, then you don't start him. But on the other side, man, Jalen looking scary, bro. That he's 333 yards, 2 tutties on the ground, 1 tutty passing. That run that he had, where he just got like it looked like he was gonna get downed at the 5 and he just willed his way. Like, this team looks, I'll be very honest. I did say whoever won this game, if they gave up like a low amount of points, I think they're Super Bowl contenders. Like I think they're my favorite to make it out of the NFC. And I think I'm gonna stick with that, man. The Eagles look great in,
oof,
in the NFC, man. They look like Himothy's.
yeah. I mean, I watched the broadcast. I watched the game. Uh, what's it called? They did speak about Jalen Hurts is the power back on that team.
Mm-hmm.
It is hard to touch Eagles running backs when you do have a guy like Jalen Hurts at quarterback. He looked electric. He was slinging it. He was running it. He was a beast. You could not bring him down. But you know, I think that we might be seeing something here with Devonta Smith and AJ Brown. It might be a thing, like one game it's AJ Brown, one game it's Devonta Smith. He looked, horrific in game one. AJ Brown looked like the greatest player of all time. It was
Yeah.
crazy. And then we go to game two, and it's AJ Brown didn't play horrible, but Devonta Smith looked great. 7 targets, 7 catches, 80 yards. Crazy. Dallas Goedert. I mean, he was. I mean, I watched that game and Dallas Goedert looked great. He
Yep.
5 receptions, 82 yards. That is what you want out of your tight end. He looked awesome. I think that Dallas Goedert will probably be the target in the red zone. He is huge. He's a physical beast. Uh, but they have so many deep threats on that team. Devonta Smith, AJ Brown, Quez Watkins, 2 targets, 2 catches, 69 yards and a touchdown. That throw from Jalen Hurts, that was beautiful, 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 beautiful.
They
Uh,
just they just have so many playmakers, man. Like you said, like
yeah,
everybody can just catch the ball and like make something out of nothing. Even I know you said don't touch the running backs. I am very pro Miles Sanders. I love Miles Sanders. I think I'm the only person in the world who would take him on just about any team, and I'd start him just about every week.
he's not
Bro,
going to get any goal line work. He will not.
yeah,
That's what you want out of your fantasy running backs is goal line work. And the
yeah,
only way that
I
Miles
agree.
Sanders is reaching the end zone is on a 50-yard run.
I do agree. I think at some point they're gonna try to like chill out with Jalen Hurts because they're gonna realize like, hey man, we have a chance to do something this year. Let's try to keep our running back healthy. But 17 carries and 3 catches, like 20 touches, and he's behind the best, in my opinion, the best offensive line in football. Like, give me that running back who's going to get 20 touches behind the best O line in football. That's my whole thing. Kenneth Gainwell is not doing anything. Like I said, he was. I'm sorry, I don't think he's better than Miles. And Boston Scott doesn't look bad, but I think this is Miles Sanders' backfield. And on the other side, talking about looking bad, Dalvin's looked. Dalvin. What's wrong with Dalvin, man?
The offensive line. That's
Yeah.
what's wrong with Alvin.
I'm as a Cook owner, I'm actually not worried. I I actually like buying low on him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's too talented to be putting up 6 for 17. Like he's due. It might be next week. They play. Who do they play?
I actually don't. I think
I
it's
do
a.
not know. I have not looked at next week's games.
I think they might be playing the Lions. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah,
I think they are, which that's going to be a shootout.
yeah,
That is going to be the highest scoring game of the week.
I
Over betters, smash it.
yeah,
Smash it.
and I think the coaching staff, at least I hope, they realized that Kirk can't do what he did this past Monday. He can't just keep forcing the ball to Jay Jettas. He needs to. They need to rely on the run game, because if a team does not have a run game, you're not gonna do anything, bro. You're not gonna do anything, especially when you're targeting one receiver 12 times. You know,
Yeah,
and
unless you have like an elite quarterback like Buffalo or Patrick Mahomes or something. Like you need some kind of balance. Definitely agree.
yeah,
Irv Smith looked good though, I thought personally.
Uh,
Except for that he dropped a fucking just a prized possession, like
yeah,
60-yard bomb. It would have been a tutty and he dropped it, but
100%. Yeah, he had
if he
that on
would have
lock.
if he would have caught that, you're looking at 6 for 100 and 2 touchdowns. I'm saying, man, the tight ends are looking mighty slim. I wouldn't mind taking a flyer on Sir Irv Smith.
yeah.
And the last game we just wanted to talk about real quick, man, because they play tomorrow. You could leave this up there. The Browns and the Steelers.
It's going to be a stinker.
Yeah, talk about.
It's going to be a snooze fest.
Yeah,
I will be going
guys.
to bed early.
Yeah, nobody plays tomorrow. Just go to bed. It's fine. You're gonna see Najee have like 13 carries for 26 yards, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, it's Najee Harris." It's about to be a bad game. It's Jacoby
Yeah,
Brissett and Trubisky.
I'm gonna be benching Amari Cooper this week. Minka Fitzpatrick is electric. I think he is one of the best. I mean, him right now. I think for right now, defensive player of the year, it's between him and Michael Parsons.
Parsons, man. Parsons is different.
Minka Fitzpatrick looked great, so I'm gonna be benching Amari Cooper for sure because he's gonna be matched up on him. But I mean, obviously, you got to start Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. I think for sure. But yeah, that game is looking to be a snooze fest. If I had to give a score prediction, I'm going to go 24-17 Browns.
What's your
That's
score prediction over there?
that's
Swift
very
man?
that's very generous.
Yeah.
Let's
I'm
go.
I'm gonna go 17 to 10 Browns.
Ooh, that's a little too low for me. I don't know what the over unders at, and I'm not gonna pick a winner because I need to see how the injuries play out, man. And I don't know, maybe Kenny Pickett's gonna play for some reason this week, but I do think it's gonna be like 17-16. I think it's gonna be one possession game, and I think, hey man, thank you for joining us. First of all, man,
Yeah.
Hunter, aka Schledank, aka I don't know what all the other nicknames
Back
you
to the
gave me.
future.
Back to the Future, all the other nicknames, man. But it's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
Joseph.
thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Joseph Swift, also, per usual.
Yes, sir.
A pleasure. And as always, stay saucy, my friends.